So we're going to take you on a little tour right now down south. So we'll set this up right here. And as the narration goes, it goes like this. Right now, folks, we're going to take a little trip down to New Orleans. We're going to tell you a story about what happens when one of the brothers in the congregation passes away. Well, all the friends of the deceased will pass around a hat so they can take up a collection to hire a street band so they can march their old friend to his grave in the proper style. And as they march on down there to the grave, the band leads the way, and all the mourners follow behind the band very slowly and sadly. And once they reach the grave, well, a preacher might be standing by, and he might say a few words like, ashes to ashes and dust to dust. If the crawfish don't get you, those muffaladas must. Well, everyone agreed that was a pretty good choice, either way to go. And then the drummer takes the handkerchief out of his snare and he gives a little roll-off on his unbelievable snare drum. And that's the signal for the entire entourage to head back to the lodge. And once they reach the lodge, they clear a little space on the floor and they make room for a party, because that's the way that things were done. Despite the fact that they're going to miss their old friend and all the wonderful times they had, now's the opportunity to consume some of those eats that the preacher was talking about. So they'd have some, and they'd have some more. And pretty soon they start telling stories about what a great guy their old friend was, and all the marvelous things he did, and all the kindness he showed them. And they'd have a few more, and a few more. And pretty soon they start telling stories about what great guys they all were, and all the wonderful things they did for their old friend, and the kindness they showed him. And they'd have a few more, tell a few more lies. And before you know it, when all this consuming and carrying on, they begin to feel more sorry for themselves than they did their old friend. Why? Because he had finally left this world with all its problems, cares, and woes, and gone on to bigger and better things. We trust. Well, anyway, one of the grand old hymns that these street bands used to play when they march on down there to the grave, it's a little tune we'd like to do for you now called Just a Closer Walk with Thee.